And I think both of these teams are just ecstatic the fact that they're getting their chance to go to the hi-rez Expo at the stage of DreamHack Atlanta. So it doesn't matter, I think, for both of these teams, whether they're facing eUnited or Team Dignitas, two formidable opponents in their own rights.
Picks and bans are underway, and Space Station has opted to take first pick yet again against Trifecta. Do we see the Ullr ban just because?
Maybe. I don't think you can top ban it, though, because there's a lot of other things you have to ban. Freya, Odin as well. Do you want to replace one of them with an Ullr and then have Paul just steamroll you with a Freya?
Maybe not ban it, but maybe first pick it, actually.
Maybe.
Just because. And hey, speaking of first picking, the Outwash was first pick, but Fenrir was slipped through, and Fenrir in the last 4 games have a 100% win rate.
If he is the first god picked for your team, you are guaranteed to win, according to these last 2 sets. So go home in your ranked games, first pick Fenrir in every one of your ranked games, and have all of your teammates hate you as you feel.
Oh no, they're gonna love you after watching these 2 sets.
Can I get like a seal of approval, like a stamp on that one?
Yeah, I don't have a stamp, but boom, there you go. That's
as official as it gets, honestly.
Okay, make sure that if Fenrir supports in your game and you lose, go complain to JMac on Twitter.
@_JMacTucker. Send me your nasty DMs. I do get to read all of those ones. Tweet at me how your teammate fed his brains out on Fenrir and blame me for that one. Or actually, blame Jithens on that one. That's all I can say to that. But Freya going to be banned away here by Space Station, Mercury, and Erlong
Same
by
4 bans.
Trifecta.
No surprise here. Last time, I believe it was Space Station drafting the Outwash to start things off. Trifecta responded with the Fenrir and the Ullr. We'll see how Space Station Gaming adapt after losing game number 1.
And I don't think the draft was the issue that game. You had to look at it. The only thing which I could say was the second half, maybe taking a second tank to help utilize the front line a bit more, help show it up, because the Geb was a free pick consistently. If there's only one front line, Fenrir's going to pick that one up, take it back to the team, and then there's no more frontline. The dive is pretty easy from there on in. A second frontline would have done them the world of good. They've second picked Pele last time, bumping it up to first pick.
Surprised, honestly, because Andinster couldn't really get the ball rolling in the early game the way he would have wanted to, the way Pele's expected to. It's been such a priority pick to the point where some teams are even banning it away, but I'm surprised because it was the Ullr Fenrir that did the trick for Trifecta, and so far, one of the pieces are there.
There's the Fenrir one more time. First picked for Trifecta. And it is interesting to see that Pele first picked this time by Space Station Gaming, not opting for something a little different. The Pele wasn't bad. It just could never really do anything because he got shut down so hard early. By the time late game came, Paul would just one-shot him.
Maybe they're thinking to allow the Outwash to go through, bait that one out, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm expecting Trifecta to just go back to the Ullr.
And if an enemy team has a Pele, I'm going, well, I'm not going to pick Outwash then. Like, you can want me to pick it, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to pick something like, I don't know, a Raijin. Dash away from you and then kill you from there.
That's true. Safe distance from the Thunder Crash, Taiko Drum combination. Very obnoxious once you get the Gem of Isolation as well. And look at that. Paul show yet again, game number 2. He went 14-1 in game 1. Can he beat that record?
I think he can.
I think so. Also, I like the little shout to the golden experience that got brought up at one point is 28,000 gold into the lead. I think that's a high score.
That's it's definitely up there in the at least in the LAN environment. It's certainly got to be up there as like the top 5 leads of all time.
I think in a Pro League versus Pro League match, it is up there as one of the highest. I think in some of the international versus Pro League games, we have seen higher leads, but that was more of expected. This was completely unexpected. What's
unexpected is this other hover here. Not going to be the Apollo, actually. Kind of baiting all of us there. But Baron, why haven't we seen this guy this tournament too much?
Mainly because of the way the meta is developed is you pick off the support and then the secondary frontline has to deal with being the tank. And when you have a Baron, you don't really have a secondary frontline. So the dives just become a hell of a lot easier if you have something like a Baron on your side.
Sure.
Whoa.
Ooh. Aphrodite, this is going to be really spicy.
Please don't do this. Please don't do the Aphrodite. I just got a clap earlier on Twitter about it, and I don't want this to happen. I'd love to see Aphrodite, but after what I tweeted out earlier,
this is so early as well.
It's super early in the draft.
I think Aphrodite with Pele, if you put Afro mid, it's hard to really fight that 2v2.
Pele just outruns you, and there's a Thanatos hovering out. Can they just pick something, please?
Pick everything.
They're trolling. Look at them laughing.
They are picking everything.
Well, Thanatos solo makes a lot of sense. Aquarius loves this pick. Variety has ran it before in the past. And I don't... Oh, I like this Morrigan selection.
For Ven. Yeah, I mean... Yeah. when your back's against the wall for Venenu, you just go back to the Morgan. He's performed so well on it. One of the better North American Morgan players out of the mid role. That will be locked in for SSG. So his if Paul's going on a tear, well, maybe Ven can go on a tear now.
That's true.
I think Space Station are trying to one-up Trifecta's draft. Trifecta last time chose a very dive-heavy composition, and SSG have said, well, we see you do that. Let's try and pick an even heavier dive comp.
Option over to Trifecta for their last pick before going into the ban phase. They got maybe their support, solo or jungle, and maybe their mid or hunter. Still no deal has been sealed just yet for this Trifecta squad. And this RTO, we've seen Neil play it a lot this week.
Well, the Fenrir was for NeiruMah last game, but I don't know, with this RTO selection, he really heavily likes this pick, knowing how much pressure it provides in that dual lane. So it doesn't really matter what Zapman goes, NeiruMah or otherwise.
ScaryD likes it as well. I mean, ScaryD's been playing RTO a little bit, not quite to the extent that Neil does, but not out of either of these two players' God pool.
I'm just unsure about the whole draft from Space Station right now. We have Pele, Thanatos, and Morrigan, very close range, sort of assassin-style characters. One of which is probably going to go to the solo lane, one of which is in the jungle, one of which is in mid. That's not really a lot of AoE control coming out from them.
What are you expecting to see Guardian-wise? It's got to be a Geb, no?
Could be, unless Trifecta ban it out. Do we see JeffHindla finally break and go for something troll?
Like a warrior, you mean? Or
No, that's too meta.
Oh, okay. So we're talking about a hunter for Jeff then.
Maybe.
Or is that
Not,
too troll?
That's
Do you
too
need
troll.
something in between
I think
then?
that's
No,
too
No,
troll.
no,
So-
Cupid support is the truth.
So what
Okay, that I can see.
What if
That I
what
can
if it's Morrigan support?
Cupid?
I can dig that.
I'm not opposed to that. Although I do like the Cupid support, but he's got to build Frostbound Hammer second item right after boots.
Yes.
That's the
Stop.
truth.
You
That's
need to-
the truth right there. Sylvanas banned away. That's the truth here from Trifecta as they take that away. And another shot at Paul, taking the Raijin off the table by SSG.
I love the new op ban. Zapman was just very comfortable in that laning phase, and it's probably Paul on the Ullr, but wouldn't be surprised otherwise, knowing how Trifecta like to switch things up when we least expect it.
Fenrir and Naja both can flex into support, jungle, and solo lane. And Artio's in there to flex between the solo lane and support, so I don't know where any of them are going.
It
Okay.
is up in the air.
Stellar analysis right there.
Okay, I'm going to take a guess. Fenrir solo,
Yes.
Naja support,
Maybe.
Artio jungle?
RDO jungle.
No,
It's
no,
Sam.
no, no,
It's
no.
Sam. It's going to be, I'm thinking Naja into the jungle here
It
for Sam.
has to be Naja jungle for Sam, and it's got to be as a result Fenrir for NeiruMah. No, I'm calling it now. NeiruMah's going to play Fenrir yet again. RDO for ScaryD.
Well, I mean, we did see Kalas bring out Naja support in Game 3 in the last set, and he missed quite a lot of abilities. So maybe everyone's going, hey, Kalas, this is how you play the god.
Did he sash a buff camp is the more important question.
No, he did not.
Okay, then we're good. Then he did better than expected.
That's too normal, Jeff.
Jeff, what are you doing?
Fafnir.
Fafnir mid.
That's too normal.
Hachiman is very normal for BaRRaCCuDDa, but it's not normal. You know what I really want to see? I want to see Jeff play Hachiman, and I want to see BaRRaCCuDDa play Fafnir.
Okay, I'll accept that.
That
I want
would
to
be
see
great.
That. I really want to see that.
That would be fantastic. But you still got to go the Frostbound if you're going with that
Sure,
hunter support.
I don't even care. I just want to. No, but he's going to build like a hunter. Like, I want them to swap roles.
Oh, there you go.
That
So
would be
so
spicy.
full damage Fafnir and full support Hachiman.
No.
Or do they build
No,
it like
they have to build it like their roles.
Okay, they
yeah.
build it like the role, but they swap their role. I
Yes,
got you onto
pretty
that
much.
one. Soul being looked at here and locked in for the Trifecta side, and I haven't really seen Paul play a lot of Soul. I imagine possibly Zapman for this one.
You got to feed the hot hand, right? And that's normally Paul, but Soul, wherever that goes, is going to be pretty hot. So I don't necessarily expect, or know rather, where that's going to go.
And Sol and Ullr both provide great follow-up to the Naja ultimate. You land down into a Hail of Arrows bladed arrow combo, or you land down into a Supernova. You're dead either way.
It's going to be a lot of follow-up damage. Whatever target Naja selects, Space Station Gaming needs to be a little bit mindful about how they aggress.
And don't forget, they also have the Morrigan on the side of Space Station, so every single one of Trifecta's picks are also technically on the side of Space Station. It's a 10v5 here.
That's very true. There's so many options available to Venenu.
Well, looking at these two drafts here after that performance, we're gonna take a little guess here. All right, guys, one word. Who's taking this one?
Said it in game 1. I'm going to say it in game 2. Trifecta.
Trifecta.
Well, The analysts say Trifecta. What do the casters say? Hindu men and friends, take it away.
Thanks so much, J-Mac. Me and Aggro so far on the cast because I'll let Aftab take the set off, you know? I got bored.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, I was like, you know what? Me and you could do this.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
But then I had a better idea.
I don't like where this is going.
It's a really good idea. It could be one of the best ideas I've ever had.
Just saying.
And I've had a lot of ideas. I mean, you've seen the script. I mean, you've seen parts of the script, obviously.
I have.
This is my favorite part of the script, I think. We've had one game so far.
Yep.
Both these teams having fun. What about bringing the coaches onto cast with you so I can get a break?
Wait, with me?
With you?
I thought it was supposed to be with you.
I'm your boss, so tough, right?
You hate to see it.
Hey, Demi, come here for a second. Put this headset on.
Oh,
There
what's
you
up,
go.
Demi? What's up,
Hey,
Shadow
Shadow Chair, how's it going? Great draft, by the way. Here you go. Aggro, enjoy the cast, right?
All right, thanks, Hindu. Yeah, thanks. What's up, gentlemen? Thanks for joining me. Apparently, my co-casters don't want to do so. Bye,
Anytime.
guys.
It's my absolute pleasure to see my own team play here
Yeah,
from the
so
casting booth.
I'm very excited for this game.
how are you guys feeling about the draft? I know you're sitting next to each other, so it might be a bit awkward, but did you fleece one another? Was this easy for you?
Oh, this is a win for Trifecta because if you look in the mid lane, actually, Paul is playing Ullr, so it speaks for itself.
That is a pretty convincing argument.
Seems
to
like you're taking a big risk here putting Paul and Ullr.
me. What were your impressions when watching Paul on the Ullr last game, Jimmy?
Kind of looked like scrims to me, honestly. We've been playing Trifecta a lot, and it's kind of what we expect. This time better, hopefully more prepared for it.
Just kind of the beast. So normally I was doing kind of the chair 3 work on this cast before. Hold on, Aquarius trying to solo invade, and this is not working. But Paul started with the 3, so doesn't have the stun.
That was
He's
a good
out of there.
response by
Where was that?
Trifecta to not lose their red buff.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
That's what you want?
Yes.
Not
I
lose
like
the
when they
red-
don't lose their red buff.
Yeah. Aqua just beg to play non-Guardian and Warriors in solo all the time, Demi?
He sure does. That's why we've seen the Hebo last game. He really does like to play anything that is not super slow, as long as it's not a Terra, a Sobek, something that is a little bit more fast. Obviously here, not in the greatest matchup into a Fenrir, already getting slapped a tiny bit, also starting red buff, putting a tiny bit behind, but hopefully he can recover. He's seeming very confident in this pick.
Is Aqua the... how would you compare Aqua to yourself in the solo lane? Is it a very different style?
It is quite strange. Some of the gods he plays are literally identical to what I would have in my god pool, and then on the other hand, he also has other gods where I would never touch them. He's like, oh, this is the best stuff.
I really, really like Hebo in the solo lane.
So do I.
And Demi's like, okay, that's good, but what about some tier? Were you the one who told him to play tier earlier this week?
Oh, he was personally all about that himself. He said like for a week straight, like I'm gonna play tier. I'm gonna play tier. And he did play tier. We didn't win that game, but he did play tier.
Yeah, he played pretty well though. He didn't. I don't think Aqua had a particularly bad game.
Nope.
On that one, can't complain about that too much. Okay, so what I was gonna say was I was doing some chair 3 work. In Shadow Chair, I heard you wanted to do some play-by-play.
Oh, I've got the best play-by-play.
You do.
I really do.
I also heard that that sometimes you think that we could do a little bit of a better job here in the casting booth.
You have something to learn from the auctioneers of the world out there.
Oh,
know?
you think so?
Oh, they have a way with words, Aggro.
A little bit of speed is what we're lacking.
All about the efficiency in the cast.
What about Finch? Finch sometimes hits the rap god style.
He's very good at it.
Okay, well, whenever
It's about
there's
the words per minute. Aggro.
Okay, well, whenever the action starts breaking out, Shadow Chair, I want you to just dive in head first. In fact, why don't you? Well, there.
No, we're gonna wait for a bit. Probably the first red buff respawn is gonna be a good time.
Yeah, that's NA, right? Because it's anytime a red buff spawns, that's where the entire team has to collapse.
Yep, it's the first team fight of the game.
Every single time, though. There might be one here on this blue. Shadow Chair, it's all you.
Trifecta going to be going for the blue buff hero. Going to be landing on Aquarius. Aquarius going to be stunned out. He's going to be looking to run away. Running away. Oh, first blood soul to Trifecta. It's going to go Sam for Sucker 2 on the NeiruMah. Going to be taking down Aquarius on the Thanos. Going to be jumping on Andinster with a stun. He's going to be running away Pele 3. Going to turn it off, turn it on, then turn it off and on. He's going to be looking to get the blue buff. Sash missed by NeiruMah. We're now on a different side of the map. You like that?
That's
dude?
pretty good.
That's pretty good. I'm not going to hate on that.
I'm impressed.
Thank you. Thank you very
There's
much.
a spot for that somewhere.
It needs a
in
little
here.
practice. But
Yeah. Well, you've got plenty of time in this game
Thank
to
you.
practice. Anytime you're feeling it, please just take it away at any given moment. Ven getting to play the Morrigan in this game, a pick that he definitely has liked a decent amount throughout his career, but You're not giving him a lot of great transformation targets here, Shadow Chair. Excellent drafting by Trifecta.
Yes, and mostly by me. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, there isn't really much to turn into. It's a little bit rough for the Morrigan, I'd say. I mean, I'm actually interested to see what he is going to turn into. I mean, he could turn into like Ninja and try to pull off some Ninja ult, or maybe Fenrir and just try to dive like.
I mean, personally, I think he
Pele.
got some kind of nice transformations here. Pele.
None of the classics, I'd say.
It's not the classic. It's not the Shirket. It's not the Humbots. It's not the Camel Dots. It's not like I'm pressing buttons and it's gonna work. But Pele is kind of close to that.
Thanatos also a pretty good transformation for,
Exactly.
the
yeah.
Morrigan.
There is
You've got
potential.
Some options. You've got some options.
It does kind of fall off with how you max the 2 in Morrigan, and then
Right.
you'll be maxing the 2 on the Thanatos as well. And the Steroid, obviously, not quite the burst you want to have, but for the Execute, it could be fine.
Oh, Sam's looking to gank here, Shadow Chair. Run us through it.
San Francisco going to be session going up in the air. JeffHindla hit 1, hit 2, hit 3 crits for 69, and that's actually a kill for Zapman with the soul out. NeiruMah getting out of there. BaRRaCCuDDa out of there. That's all there is, actually.
That's all there is. Nice
just
and
keep-
easy. Another perfect gank by Sam for soccer. I said on the
He's the
cast
best.
before this that I think Sam played better than anybody here at this tournament this week. Agree or disagree?
Well, I actually played with Sam in Spring Split, if you didn't know, and last year in Fall Split and SPL, so I have a lot of experience with him. And I know he's kind of a beast.
He's
after-
kind of the beast.
Yeah, so I honestly, I kind of expect this from him. Like, he's a great player.
Were you surprised by Sam's performance at all, Dimmy?
I think if I would have to give badges out to the best performing players in this tournament so far, on the other hand, it would be Sam. Obviously, on the other hand, Insignum's coach that stepped in for them.
True.
That was
absolute blast to see that. But yeah, Sam has been surprising me inside of scrims and outside of scrims, just playing very well. He loves to be in dual lane, and if he's not in dual lane, Zapman would probably tell him to be here.
Neil gonna fall underneath the tower to Andinster. Volcanic Lightning turns out to be a pretty good ability. Is Van with a swift transformation of his own into the Pele. One thing about transforming into Pele as the Morrigan is that you can stay as Pele for a really long time, because as long as you have that 3 active, you actually won't de-transform, as BaRRa losing the one-on-one up against Sam. Sashes there, but some good peel from Jeff and Andy. Turn it around onto Sam for soccer. That's easy for your boys, Dimmy.
Really unexpected turnaround. Actually, you thought the BaRRa would die there for a second, but all good. Andinster shown presence on the dual lane.
This solo lane matchup, as you explained, Dimmy, not one that's great for Aquarius. So now that he has access to the silence, Brutalize won't be quite as good. But a lot of times, Scary just wants to jump on him, get that stun, a follow-up auto, and then get out of dodge before that scythe starts coming through. Fenrir has been all over the place this land, guys. Is this something that both of your teams were experimenting with coming into this land?
Well, on the off chance, yes. Not in the roles that we've seen this tournament. Obviously not in the Hunter role, but obviously somewhere else.
Sure.
A powerful pick, but actually quite surprised how dominant it has been. Just absolutely favored by European teams all throughout the tournament, and probably going to be continuing to do so in the Worlds.
Andy played in jungle and played pretty well with it this week, so maybe that's something that other teams will try and explore. What about for you guys, Shadow Chair?
I'd say this is definitely something that is more from the Europeans as well. Like, I'd say I haven't seen nearly as much of this from North America. Like, coming into this tournament, I was kind of surprised at how much of it and how highly valued it is, more than anything.
Neil definitely made it work, though, whenever he got a chance to run it.
You know he wants to play that, dude.
Much like Aquarius in the solo lane, Neil often wants to play anything but what he's supposed to. As Aqua in some trouble, but does have some help coming with help from Andinster. Aqua's going to get up into the sky as Sam takes one up of his own. Aqua waiting for that execute, but just can't find it quite yet. Turnaround is there. SSG 2 for 0. Andinster able to grab them both. Really good 2-on-2 by Spacestation on the right side.
Beautiful combo and patience from Aqua here. Obviously, he directly recognizes he's not going to get the execute anytime soon, so he goes for the dunk just for the CC and the turnaround. And, well, Pele really showing off why she's being really strong so far. Lifesteal definitely pays off here.
Yeah,
Pele is sorry, Sam, sorry, Shadow. Go ahead.
Definitely Pele and Thanatos both got a lot of healing off in that engagement. You can tell Sam and Scary just didn't have enough damage to pull it off yet at this point.
Anti-heal definitely something that Trifecta can build pretty easily in this match. Both Ullr and Naja are able to apply it pretty easily, so that could be a direction that we see Trifecta end up going. Though it isn't in Europe, so maybe we won't see as many anti-heal options. Dimmy, what is it about European players that love anti-heal so much?
Well, I don't know. I think European players are mostly used to having healers around, like Deathwalker plays Hell, Emilzy plays Hell, people sometimes bring Aphrodite. And in general, they're much quicker to react to just building anti-heal. I remember back in Ullr season as well, you'd have American players mostly focus on just getting their damage online and out-pressuring them, the healers. but European players a tiny bit more aware. Personally, this game, I'm kind of curious about the Soul pick in this game. Something we haven't seen all tournament, especially Soul ADC. Also with the Bancroft rush, kind of risky here.
Well, maybe Zap decided he wanted to actually be able to attack in the laning phase instead of the NeiruMah that he played in the last game. Kind of the opposite of that. Maybe not putting the pedal to the metal, but certainly a little bit more aggressive than the NeiruMah, though that's a little bit of a low bar to hurdle over. As you're talking about it, Dimmy, I guess you're kind of right. NA has always just been all about smorking their offense.
Oh, they sure love the smork.
Looks like some smorking happening on this left-hand side. Zap has that Disapparate coming out, but JeffHindla right there with that Draconic Corruption. Andy looking for Zap underneath the tower, and Volcanic Lightning gets it done. NeiruMah could be next on the list, but enough sustain out of that RDO to force the rest of Space Station back. So Space Station get another pick, now up 5-2, and that aggressiveness in the duo lane is something that we've seen quite a bit of so far this tournament.
Actually really surprised that we're not seeing SmiteVOD here being a tiny bit more on the duo lane side. That fight in Soul lane where he did fall to Aqua and Andy in the combo, really putting him behind now. And as you can see on the side ganks here, he doesn't really have the position nor the level to really respond to that.
Sam actually stole the red there with the ring bounce, so that was a good rotation by him.
What a beast.
What a beast. Red buffs. Is red buff the new speed buff? Because there's so much fighting over it. Sometimes for what seems like very little reason, there's like full commits where teams are diving down past XP harpies. It's kind of the new obsession, isn't it?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm expecting red buff to be moved down another camp in Season 6.
Yes. You can't really get to the speed buff very easily, so...
Maybe we just put red buff, there's just one super red buff right by Gold Fury instead of Oracles.
Oh god, that would be horrible.
NA would
Bit
be
too
all
much.
about it, though.
I'd be so scared. You see like 4 physicals just early game,
Yeah.
4 horrific emblems every game.
Yeah, the horrific emblem rush by everybody. Jeff actually doesn't have a horrific in this game. Why do you think Jeff decided to go for Sprint?
Probably anticipating a passive laning phase, also going to the late game, not seeing... Actually, there are quite a bit of auto-attackers on the lineup of Trifecta. I could have also seen a horrific here.
Is Jeff going to have to get a talking to after this game, Dimmy?
Nah, Jeff plays perfect every game.
It's everyone else who needs the talking
yes,
to.
Yes, pretty much.
On Space Station. Perfectly every game. Who's the one who needs the least direction from you, Shadow Chair, on Trifecta?
Least direction? Oh, man. They all need so much. Honestly, it could be Paul in some ways. In some ways, it isn't Paul. Like, in some ways, it is Paul too, because you know he's just doing his own thing in mid.
Right.
Like, if you play around him, he's gonna perform.
Paul really is like the embodiment of NA SPL, all in one player. Just wants to run at you at all times. BaRRa's running at Zap right now. Good trade for BaRRaCCuDDa, but now that Sam's here, maybe not his best trade.
That's
Sam
for just a sec.
BaRRa was in a really rough spot there. I'm surprised Zap didn't just ult it straight away. Could have potentially been a kill.
Didn't even need to worry about using his beat. Zap cool and calm under pressure. Zap, I mean, maybe he hasn't been in the player cams a little bit. Is Sam now in a lot of trouble? Has a sash, but will not end up escaping Venenu. You look at BaRRa is still laughing, having all this fun. Zap's got the glasses on and is just locked in. Zap looks like he's just angry that he's missing tonight's Jeopardy.
I don't know what it is about Zap this tournament so far, but every time I look at his player camp, he looks kind of sad to me.
I know.
Like he's worried about something, or like something in his life just... I'm not sure what it is, but I'm happy that Zap so far has found also games where he's looking happy in.
He's been looking happy overall, but maybe not so much this time around. Neil doing great work up against BaRRa. Paul with the stomp down on the jump, a 1-for-1, hunter for hunter at the end of the day. Good jump there by Jeff, but Paul is not the type of dude who's going to let this kill go for free, but he'll find the much more important objective anyways, the red buff.
Yeah, he's the type of dude to go for Eagle Rip buff every single time, and leaves a small camp out.
Disrespect.
That is disrespectful.
Probably not the right play, but the
Honestly,
disrespect
not.
for sure.
You lose the timer this way. Could have gotten a lot more information, but it does get him towards Gold Fury, marginally faster. Trifecta, yeah, exactly. Trifecta down in kills, but now will be up in gold overall. Trifecta's had a lot of games this land, Shadow, that you guys have been behind, and you've made really, really good comebacks. Why do you think your team is so good on the defensive?
Well, we have a lot of practice from being behind.
That's a good way to get your practice.
Well, you have to know there's a point in the game where being behind doesn't matter anymore, right? You all get online, you get your items. You have to, once you start falling behind, eventually you can't contest objectives anymore, right? So it's like, what can you really do but defend? And you just prepare, you have a lot of time. A lot of practice defending, sprinting like all the time, and you get really good at it.
Yeah, we kind of do joke around whenever we scrim you guys that on the off chance you guys are just playing for the defense. You don't even want to win. It's just like they're planning for the Phoenix fight, and they get it, and they just swing the game back entirely all the way around.
I really do think that's a semi-viable strategy right now in drafting.
Yes.
I mean, that's why one of the reasons Apwash is so good. Sure, his jungle fight's insane, but how do you ever siege against him on these Phoenixes?
Apwash is great both ways, because sieging with him too, you can just zone them off their own Phoenix. Like, you can't get onto the carries, and they'll just hit the Phoenix for free. And if you try to stop them, you're just dead. And then that's another siege, like 5v4 or whatever.
I'm a little surprised we haven't seen more of Kukulkan. Khan. The joke with that god's always been he's best when you're losing.
Oh, I love
because he's so
Kukulkan.
good at defending on these sieges. That could be something that's worth practicing. There's a free tip for you guys.
If there's any player in this tournament willing to play Kukulkan, I will be very, very surprised.
Well, unfortunately, Heroin did not make it to Worlds. I'm sure he would have been willing
He might have been, that is true.
to play it, but maybe not.
Pressure
anybody
coming
else.
out here in the soul lane. I think blue buff just got stolen away from SSG Gaming.
I think so.
Yeah, Pyromancer also down. Not looking really great. Aqua 2 levels down in soul lane. Not great outlook, but Andy's keeping up. He has 1 level lead, and potentially the key to this game for us.
Not a lot of CDR there for Andinster. The pen is kind of there for Void Shield as BaRRa loses his dash, that Supernova, but Zap didn't do a whole lot of damage with it otherwise.
BaRRa got the ult trade for free, so that's good for him.
Feels pretty good about it. Working towards an Ichabal, it looks like. Is Andy going to blink in? Looking for Zapman. Knockup's good on the Zap, but the beats are better. Disapparate is coming, but Andinster is going to put him down. Sold a kill for Spacestation Gaming. Now they'll look for the purple buff. Do I need to talk faster during that? Was that not fast enough?
Yes,
Is that
more words per minute.
Okay. Does it matter what I'm saying, or is it
No,
just words?
just words.
Okay,
Any
excellent.
words. Short words are the best.
I'll try and do a little bit better then for the next time around. Scary has been playing a lot of Guardians and low pressure stuff in the solo lane so far this tournament, but the Fenrir is kind of a different look for him. Does Scary still want to play the Achilles and the Cucullins, or is he more geared toward the Guardians right now, Shadow?
Well, right now he's like geared to the Guardians, but you know he's ready to play anything. And I think in this case we kind of knew there was going to be a lot of pressure in the solo lane, so we wanted to be able to match that. And that's the beauty of Fenrir right now, is you can put him in so many places right now.
All 5 roles.
All 5 easily.
By Fenrir mid coming to a ranked game near you.
Yeah.
Probably.
I'll be playing that.
Oh, great. Make sure, just DM me when you're queuing so that I can be really busy during that time. That'd be appreciated. Scary finds a stun onto 1, but Andinster showing up is enough to get his ultimate. He's actually going to chomp down onto Aqua because Sam is right here and ready, but Aqua's going to be able to get that ultimate off in time. We'll likely have to use it as a disengage tool as BaRRa on the left-hand side taking that fight up against Zapman one more time. BaRRa has to use the Aegis, but Zap gets soloed. You know that BaRRa was having fun in the last game, but really needed to get that one back after getting soloed
laughing
in game
at him?
1. Probably.
I think you just laughed there.
That's a little, the little back
dude.
spam. BaRRa's kind of toxic, huh?
Yeah, that's a toxic play if I've ever seen one. That's gonna cost him in the end, trust me. The bad karma.
You really can't solo Zapman, though. That's the thing you gotta realize, is that by soloing Zapman, you power him up.
He's playing into the trap of Trifecta, dude.
Zapman in ranked, if you solo him, you are guaranteed to lose. That is the way. If you get up 10k and you solo Zapman, you have lost that ranked game. It is it's an indisputable fact. And BaRRaCCuDDa would just put Space Station one step closer to the grave with that solo kill on the Zapman.
This game has been really interesting so far. We've seen a lot of skirmishes in soul lane, and they consistently did go, with the exception of the first, to Trifecta. And now we see a lot of dual lane aggression as he responds to their pressure.
BaRRa trying to play around that lead. Zap getting pretty poked out because this Hachimon is Scary's here. And it's a huge stun, but Zap gets absolutely crushed by Ven and Andy. Now Andy's got to try and find something. Is Sam gonna take him up with that Naja ultimate? Neil still zoning, but Ven getting a little bit too low. Aqua coming around the back, can't quite find that scythe, but the Soul Reaver is pretty good. Andinster able to grab one. That's Sam for Soccer, looking for it.
Comes down, doesn't find it here. Fight goes on, Andy does go down. Now JeffHindla probably next to fall, and Aqua all by himself probably won't find any kills anymore. Paul looking for it. Will he get it?
He's gonna get this.
Probably it's gonna be Paul's kill here. No, does go to Neil.
Actually, to Neil, a Deicide Shadow, run me through that fight. What went so well for Trifecta?
Well, it started with both teams basically just backline diving, and you saw BaRRaCCuDDa and Zapman, I believe, were the first ones to dive both, getting dove. And then the Morgan transformed into Pele, and Sam4Soccer actually brought him into the air. And they basically all started collapsing back to where Trifecta was, and Trifecta's ahead right now as well. Like the big name, like the big characters on the map, like now, like Fenrir and NeiruMah were there, and they kind of just have more damage at this point.
Felt like Scary was able to do a lot more than Aqua was during that fight.
Definitely.
Yeah, obviously the reset with the execute being an absolute must, but I do agree with Shadow Chair here that it didn't seem like it at first, but Sam stopping Venenu in his transformation just kind of took out the entire momentum out of the team fight, and it all just collapsed from there slowly and slowly.
Space Station's comp really is like highly dependent on Morgan and Pele diving together, I think.
Got to get in on
And
those
if he can,
Scaries.
yeah, if he can get a big ult, that could really crush their team fight.
But Scary's level 19 at this point with the Fenrir, went into that hide of the Nemean Lion as well. You don't have to worry that much against magical damage when you know that Venenu's transformation target is going to be physical, right? So you can kind of stack that physical defense and still feel pretty comfortable. That'll do a lot of damage to you with the combo, but after that, what's he going to turn into? The soul in order to kill you? It's just not going to work that way.
Yeah, at this point, Scary is pretty much unkillable for Space Station unless, I guess, they all pile into him somehow. But I don't think it's possible.
Aqua's here and is going to try and steal this kill from Andinster. That's a Zap Aegis if I've ever seen one, followed up by a nice old Zap Beads, and still ends up falling. But the tactical feed, another Zapman classic, is opening up the Fire Giant here as it's getting lower. JeffHindla getting close, but not close enough. Trifecta to get the first Fire Giant, and Jeff tries to stop Sam's back and does so. And
it is a Phoenix race coming on here. BaRRaCCuDDa and Aquarius, as well as Andinster, taking up the Lex Phoenix. Jeff purposefully stopping NeiruMah from backing here, but it doesn't seem like their damage is enough. Trying to taunt to NeiruMah, execute up in the air in case they didn't get low enough, but it's not going to happen. Volcanic Fury out of there, and they might be dead here from the collapse coming from mid lane from Paul.
BaRRa still has his ultimate, but so does Sam. Andinster trying to turn it around now onto Sam. Good damage with that Volcanic Lightning, and that Windfire Wheels never got a chance to do anything. Andy able to put him down, but Paul lurking up and over that wall, has the axe, looks for the one as well. Good hail of arrows, and Paul's able to bring down BaRRa. Andy, though, is looking for a zap in his own base. This doesn't seem like a fight that Andinster is going to win, and Andy just kind of decided that he
This doesn't look like a fight that Andy wanted to win from to begin with.
That's the Andy classic.
Yeah, just kind of let it go.
Yeah.
He's like, whatever, I'm not winning this one. So Trifecta get fired, they lose Sam4Soccer, but Paul still deathless so far in this game. And have you guys ever won or lost a game with Paul not dying? I feel like that's a good way to win.
I think that has. Ooh, I don't know. I feel like he'll
that
always die at the
definitely
end.
happens.
I think it happens, but I don't. It looks good when he's not dying for sure.
Usually pretty solid.
More often than not, it's a win.
This time, Paul not having that insane carry performance, certainly doing his job, but middle of the player damage charts, 4-0 and 3, really more about who's just best at last hitting in these fights, which I maintain is a real skill for pro players. I never had that one. I always lost my kills to little Guardian auto attacks and nonsense like that. I was going to ask you who was the best at last hitting on energy, Dimmy, but I think we all know that's Kenneth, right?
Oh yeah, it sure was. He studied that more than playing the actual game.
How can I sneak an auto attack in there in order to get it? Paul seems to be the one in sole possession of that skill.
Big question mark for here is actually how is SSG going to play out the siege defense here? No really big majors on their disposal. We have the stealth in from Venenu. Should be looking for a carry here, but what else is there on the follow-up? I'm kind of scared for this here. If Ven doesn't find a flank, it might get ugly real quick.
It's going to be difficult on these Phoenixes to find the flank because you have to go all the way around from one of the side lanes if you really want to be safe about it, and Ven still hanging out towards the back. Hachiman mounted archery is pretty good on the defense. Big slow, it'll hit basically the entire enemy team. So it's not, I mean, I'm not saying it's Opwash ultimate or Kukulkan Tornado, but as far as Hunter ultimates go, it's X-Ball, Ho-Yi, and then Hachiman, I'd say, on those defenses.
It is definitely one of the best for just the high damage output. The slow, underrated, very strong.
Not a lot of Hachiman, though, this week, I'd say.
Not a lot. It's more of like a middle tier pick, I'd say. You know, like he does his job. He's fairly safe, fairly strong. He's a bit of a jack of all trades in a way, I'd say.
Master of none.
Yeah.
I'd say that's. I think that's a fair assessment.
Except master of riding horses for sure.
True, out of the hunter class.
Yes.
Andinster.
Master of
Dead.
getting picked.
Master of getting picked on the left side.
That was-
Ben has resigned himself to the split push now on that left as well, but looks like Trifecta kind of doing Ven a favor. Usually when someone's split pushing like this, you kind of want to take the lane they're pushing, just cut off their minions, but instead Trifecta go with their own minions towards the mid lane. There's that mounted archery, not a whole lot. Jump onto Aquarius, Scary D into the back line, brutalized there onto BaRRaCCuDDa. Aegis is good, Scary D going down, sold to Spacestation Gaming. Venenu is able to get that kill. Was that better?
That was much better.
Okay, all right, I'm still working on it. We might have 45 more minutes in order for me to practice this at this right now. Who knows?
Who knows?
We should be
It's
so
been
lucky.
some long games.
I'm quite surprised how that trade ended up. I think Scary D shouldn't have been quite that deep in. Interested to see what his 6th item is going to be. It's going to be Mantle of Discord. Very unlike the other Fenrirs we have seen in this tournament so far in the support role, going for a Lonos mask to have that extra beefiness to make sure you're actually unkillable walking into Phoenixes. Hopefully we'll see him fall more often now due to this purchase, but just judging by how far Trifecta are ahead, it's going to be quite unlikely.
Level 20 on the solo laner. Dimmy, while I have you here, I do want to ask you a lot of talk this week about energy and the way that they're going to perform without Yaman there coming to HRX. Do you think, I mean, I'm not going to ask you to make a prediction or anything like that, but if you were still on that team, what would you be thinking at this point about your chances at DreamHack?
Damn, you really are asking me the very hard questions you
What,
would want to answer.
What, you thought that I was going to let you just get off scot-free here?
I thought you just wanted me to roast my team and get away with it.
I mean, you can if you want. That's fine. You could say, well, I've already got Emilito on the team, so I know I can't win without Yaman there to neutralize his feeding. That
Ooh.
could have been a good answer.
Oh.
You can say that if you want. I won't hold it against you. We'll cut that out of the clip.
Nah, it's going to be okay. I think whatever happens, Energy will be holding their heads as high as they can. I think they're currently at a boot camp trying to get the best practice in there as they can, and I sure do wish that they get as far as they can in the tournament.
Yeah, I think Energy is the type of team that if you're going to have a horrible, sort of scenario put out in front of you where you don't have a lot of time to prepare, I think that Energy's the type that can make the best out of it. Obviously, wishing them the best, and of course, Yaman the best with his situation, but that's in a week. Right now, we've still got Trifecta and Space Station in front of us. Trifecta has the Fire Giant now enhanced, so it's even better than it was before.
Actually seeing a triple push here, Scary D pushing up that lane. Curious if he will actually take over the auto-attacking of the Phoenix on the left side as well, or if that's going to be SmiteVOD's job, as it usually is. Quite spread out. Venenu going for poke here. Aegis forced out.
Aegis, and Sam's got to turn around and take the fight if he can. Tries to get the Magi's off of Andy, but may have actually been better for him that he ended up missing that. Would have put him in a worse spot than he was already in. This is where Ven has got to use that Morgan transformation, but good ward coverage by Trifecta is going to make that difficult.
I like that SSG tried to make an aggressive play there because I see the way their comp is and how far behind they are, and with the Phoenix down, I think the only way they can really defend is to be very aggressive on the defense with the Pele and the Morgan. So it's good that they tried to pick off Sam there while he was alone. Good
damage on the Zap off the hammer from Jeff, but not good enough against the Soul with Bancrofts. Can easily just press one, be basically full health yet again. Ven looking for that angle, but with so much AoE on Trifecta, it's going to be difficult as Andinster going to blink in, use that eruption, but not quite enough. BaRRa hits that mounted archery, but it's Andy and BaRRa who nearly kill themselves off that little ring toss coming from Sam for Soccer. Right side Phoenix is the call. Is Scary now just going to wait it out and pick up a dragon? Well, he missed, but we won't talk about it because Zapman was able to get it anyways. Trifecta to get the right Phoenix. Easy for Zapman.
4v5 team defense. Andy in trouble here. Is probably going to get picked here, gets taken up to the air by Sam. Neil is an execute threshold and will fall.
Ven with
Ven
a
looking
nice
at the
little
backside.
flank. Yeah, was able to get one, got Paul pretty quickly before the beads came out. Ven actually gets a double kill on the defense, bringing down Sam for Soccer. And Trifecta's Siege, that's one of the problems with getting mid-Phoenix first, is that you have to walk across the scary zone in order to try and get towards the left side Phoenix.
That defense was exactly what I was talking about too. You saw Ven transform into the Pele and he went as aggressive as he possibly could, and they ended with 3 kills now going up the mid lane, so that's the best way to defend. Still 1 Phoenix down unfortunately for them, but that went about as well as it could have in mid.
Seems like Zapman actually wants to hold this. He does have both relics available to him. Teleport coming out, stun will not come in by Ven. He does miss it.
Oh,
and
man.
will probably fall too scary here.
Yeah. That isn't what exactly you were looking for, I'd say. Though he's got the stealth and will buy himself some time. Actually going to look
back
for
around.
Zap. Has the beads, the Zap. And just one more auto should do it. Red buff goes down, as does Venenu. BaRRA also fell to Scary D on that surge forward. Trifecta able to turn it back on its head. Zapman, if he didn't get soloed earlier, he dies. But he did, so he didn't.
That was I like the aggressive defense, but afterwards I'm not exactly sure what they were doing. Went a little bit out of position there, Ven behind the tower, and that kind of throws away their defense in my opinion.
It seemed to me as they weren't quite sure on what to do, how to really play that siege, how to be grouped up, and who's following up and who's not. I think Andy just ditched, and after that, Ven going along for the kill does leave them in a really awkward spot for this Phoenix and possibly Titan defense.
Soul and Ullr able to bring those down quickly, and it looks like Trifecta is just going right for the kills. Aquarius getting low to Paul, but Andinster doing what he can to disrupt. Titan getting fairly low to Zapman as well, as he's looking to just finish it off all by himself. Trifecta will be your winners out of the lower bracket. They 2-0 Space Station, nice and easy.
Very good.
Sam or Shadow Chair, in your team, you guys looking pretty good. Dimmy, who's going to be the one you got to yell at later on?
I'm not sure. Probably everyone, even Jeff, perhaps, for that
No,
game.
not Jeff.
Not Jeff. We'll find out.
Not Jeff. Unfortunate for the Space Station boys, but they take care of business. They got done what they needed to get done, which is getting the ticket to HRX. Obviously, seeding is important and getting some momentum is important, but at the end of the day, I think that Space Station isn't going to be too concerned about this loss. Right, Demi?
I think we'll be all okay. We're going to be coming back stronger for Worlds and hopefully play better than we have this set. And after that, we should be all good, set to go.
Trifecta, on the other hand, a team that after losing to Insignum looked like might not make it at all, now end up on the top side of the lower bracket. What was the team environment like after that loss, Shadow, and how hard was it to bounce back from?
It was like disappointment because it was a set we know we should have won, and we didn't play like we should have at all. And going back like into the hotel room and everything, talking about the game, was just like we knew exactly how to win it. It was time to just put it all together. Like no more of this weird play we were doing. And also my cursed interview at the start didn't help at all, you know.
Oh yeah, well you
But
actually
broke the curse just now.
Broke the curse, so maybe now at DreamHack you can actually manage to give some interviews to that. Guys, thanks so much for joining me on the cast, having a little bit of fun. Congratulations again on making DreamHack. We'll be seeing you soon. Let's throw it back to the desk to wrap up the placement stage land.
Thank you, Aggro, and
These
the
off, we look
coaches.
the same, right? Yeah. Look at that.
Thank you, Aggro, and the coaches for that one.
Who's
I got
Hindu, who's
I got
Alpha?
Hindu Man over here, replacing Anatoly
I'm
and
Alpha.
Alpha Jackal.
Yeah, we swap seats.
Yeah.
Y'all aren't very good at swapping seats.
Yeah, I play with for Rival. I'm a coach.
Not a very good one.
And I'm a BM Toxic caster.
Thank you for bringing us the Axis replay post-game stats here. You can see the tail of the tail. Andinster did pretty well on
tail?
two.
What's the tail of a tail?
It's such a good one. It's a good tail of
You
a
mean
tail.
Tail of the tape?
No.
Oh, okay.
Nobody uses tape anymore. We're in the modern age, AJ. We're in the modern age here. Nobody uses tape anymore.
So is it the tail of the MP3?
We use the Blu-rays. Paul coming in big
Blu-rays?
for the
People still use Blu-rays?
MVP for this game. Obviously is Paul. The Steel Series MVP to Paul for playing the Smite Paul League tonight. That's really all that we came out here to watch was the Smite Paul League in this matchup versus Space Station Gaming.
He got outdamaged by Scary D, so can he really get MVP?
Of course he can.
No, that's a full tank Fenrir he got outdamaged by.
It's true, he is a caster. That casters are right? Speaking of casters, by the way, Shadow Chair's performance was a little bit lackluster there. I was expecting more from him after the couple of roasts he's done through the year towards the casters.
That was pretty weak.
There wasn't that much play-by-play that was on track from my point of view. A little bit disappointed in that. That's my analysis for the death section, by the way, is Shadow Chair needs a bit more work. Dimmy seemed pretty solid, though.
And chat really seemed to like Dimmy as well. I was kind of popping in there, and everybody was really enjoying Dimmy. I think maybe you need to get rid of somebody and bring Dimmy on there.
You might be right, but at the same time, he's coaching Space Station Gaming, so he'll probably be available after the quarterfinals anyway.
That's a fair point onto that one. You can see Paul coming in big here for the team, getting 14 kills last game, coming in with a big few of them this time. 16.5 KDA for the mid laner here of Trifecta.
Yeah, Trifecta coming up with the 2-0. Very, well, not an important victory for them, but they take the 2-0 overall, and that's the placements dealt with. It's been a long tournament for everyone, though.
It's been 6 long days of Smite. And their consolation prize for this is that they get to face against United for the first matchup going into HRX. Trifecta, congratulations on your 2-0 victory.
Who'd you guys get?
I think we got energy, I think.
I've not really looked it up yet. That's what I'm asking you.
Oh, yeah, we did get energy.
Ah,
We did get
okay.
energy.
Interesting. All right.
Well,
That'll be
we've
fun.
got two players here from the Trifecta squad sitting by in an interview. Zapman, Scary D, tell us about that game.
All right, we're here with the carry, and of course the solo laner, Scary D and Zapman here. Congratulations on the victory. My first question is going to be for Zapman. It's been a long time since you were able to come to LAN, not in a suit, but in a jersey. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. Like Season 3 was definitely my peak, I would say, and also the meta in Season 3 was conducive to hunters, like getting all the farm and carrying everything like that. This season, it took me a while to adjust to the meta because I'm used to just getting all the farm and doing all these plays. But this year, the dual lane got the least farm, and there were so many like new damage items that were introduced in this season. And like I remember when I first started screaming, I was like, "Why am I even playing hunters?" I tried assassins in the ADC role because they would just kill you so fast. And then along with nerfs to some of the pen items and what was that? The buff to splitting, so the supports don't get too far behind. Then the dual lane became more manageable, and I just I had to learn to take more of a back seat to my mid laner. If he wants red, I give him red. So, we made a joke about it. Like if we ever made it to Worlds, I would say my best contribution to the team was giving Paul red.
Yeah, Paul always gets red.
Yeah,
always.
so that's pretty much it. It was just a big adjustment for me for this whole year, pretty much.
It was this year that you got benched, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's been a long year, but I was going to say, it feels like it's been a long journey for you guys this year and in this team in general. If I would have told you that week that you got benched, that you guys would be making it to Worlds with this roster that you have now, what would you have said?
Wow, I mean, when I got benched, I was just like hoping and praying I can get back on the team. That like hurt my confidence a little bit, but it was fine. Taking a little break never really hurts, and then I got my chance to come back to the team, and after that, Mass left, and they were like, "Holy crap, it's fall split." Now we got another roster change, and but Sam was looking real good in the minor league.
Yeah, Sam.
So we're like, "Sam, come on." Or Shook, our owner, asked us. He was like, "Who do you guys think is a good jungler?" To me and Neil. Me and Neil just said Sam, and he said, "Who else?" And we said, "Just Sam."
Really
So we picked up Sam, and then it was rough in the split, but we kind of just like started figuring out the meta and like where we wanted to focus. And as soon as we did that, we started seeing results, and we're like, wow, okay, we're getting really good. And that's why people say like we're good in scrims and things like that. But when we got to this LAN, our picks were kind of off. Maybe we were a little bit nervous, and Signum just did a lot of different things, and it caught us by surprise. But we adjusted, and here we are. So it was good.
Scary, you've done a lot of growing up since the last time you were at LAN. You kind of had some moments of brilliance last time around. But watching you here at this LAN and throughout the course of the year, you've really solidified yourself as a pro league player.
Thank you.
Talk to me about the journey that you've taken to become more consistent and more of a dependable solo laner.
Yeah. Back in like Season 3, I was always a really good mechanically player, but the way I thought about the game was definitely wrong. Like, I would always just make bad decisions and go in what I'm not supposed to, and just get picked randomly, like just die randomly. But like, this year, like especially when I joined the team with Spacestation on Zap, like he helped me a lot learn like how to actually think about the game in the right way. And I was just like, I could cut down on all my deaths basically. I could just stop dying all the time. And then this team, it's been way better. Like I just think about the game in such a better way now.
Since you won the setup against Space Station, that means you guys are facing off against United at DreamHack. How are you guys feeling about that matchup in particular?
Feeling pretty confident, honestly.
Always love going up against Panda Cat. Since Season 2 Challenger Cup, we've been going at it, and he's become an amazing player. I personally think he's the best hunter right now, and I want to be able to prove myself against him again.
You gonna tweet the little picture of the panda in the jail? Is that...
Only if I win. I don't know.
All right, guys. Congratulations on making it to DreamHack. Have fun this week as you wait and prepare, and we'll see you pretty soon.
Thank you.
And that's really going to conclude it out here for our week of HRX placements. It's been a long 6 days, 24 sets of games played throughout here, but only 4 teams out of our 14 are going to be going to the HRX. Let's take a look at the upper side of the bracket to see what action you guys have missed so far this week, and you need to go back and watch if you missed any of it. Luminosity versus Nocturnes. Luminosity move forward to lose to Obey, who end up going all the way down onto the semifinal side. And our teams here today, Trifecta, they lost in the first round. They lost first round to Insignum, but able to bring it back here.
And Zapman, he's so washed up that he actually doesn't play Hunter anymore. He played 2 mages today. How
I don't
washed
see
up?
anything wrong with that.
Not as washed up, dude. He's the Hunter player for Trifecta, and he doesn't even play Hunters.
Can't hit allies, just play mages. I mean, that's the way to go. Missed so many of them. And looking here onto the lower side bracket, you can obviously see Trifecta getting the victory over Mouse Sports today, Space Station over in Signum, and then Trifecta winning out here. They'll play against E United, where Space Station, they're going to play against Dignitas. As we move on to the HRX bracket, this is the one that everybody wants to see who's playing up. And you can see it there. Dignitas and Space Station are going to be the first match of the Smite World Champions.
Okay, we'll bring it in for a second. We've had a lot of fun today, and this whole week has been great with the fans too. But that bracket looks amazing. The fact that we've got these 8 teams going to Worlds, is this what you guys both expected?
It's not what I expected. I expected to see Mouse up there rather than Trifecta.
I agree with that, yeah.
But Trifecta came out to play today, and Mouse sadly didn't.
I think when we saw Trifecta play against Insignum earlier on this week, we were all probably on the same page of like, this is not going to look good for Trifecta, so Mouse should be a shoo-in for this matchup. But Trifecta turned up.
Trifecta really came up to play today, and that's where they needed it the most. Forget everything that happened previously in the week for them. They are now here. They're going to be taking on E United at the Smite World Championships and NRG versus Team Rival. A very stacked side of the bracket. 8 teams will walk in next Friday to play in these matchups.
What day were you going to say then? Because you went next to...
I thought I was going to say Thursday. I mean, Thursday would be a fun day, but they're not going to do it Thursday.
I want
it's
days off,
Friday.
J-Mac. It's been 6 days in a row. It's been a long season.
You don't get days off.
No,
you don't get
we
days
don't.
off.
And you guys should buy your tickets. If you've not got them already, this idiot and this idiot will be joining me as well. I'm also an idiot before they get upset. November 16th to the 18th, hi-rez.expo.com. Not only Smite, there'll be Paladins there too, as well as the Console World Championships also. There's also a lot of other stuff going on there, other events, things you can buy, people to hang out with. Come hang with the community. Right, with that, J-Mac closes out. I want to go home.
It's been a long week. We will see you guys next week at DreamHack Atlanta. Be there or be square.
Peach it.
HRX is brought to you by Hi-Rez Studios, iNap, Mixer, Alienware, and Skillshot.
You and I, we're always on the edge. We fight and make love at the same time. Would you break up just because I told you what I did last night?